Stotra Shishma Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Committee Founder Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Guru Vrind ki jai. Shri Guru Parampara ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gopremanande Hari Bol. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished. And today is text 24, but we'll recite 25 and then we'll take on 24 as well. Okay, so 1, 7, 25. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tatha Ayam Cha Avataraha Te Bhuvaha Bhara Jihirshaya Swanam Cha Ananya Bhavanam Anudhyanaya Cha Asakre Tathayam Chavataraste Bhuvo Bhara Jihirshaya Swanam Chananya Bhavanam Anudhyanaya Chasakri Tathayam Chavataraste Bhuvo Bhara Jihirshaya Swanam Chananya Bhavana Anudhyanaya Chasakri Tathayam Chavataraste Bhuvo Bhara Jihirshaya Swanam Chananya Bhavana Anudhyanaya Chasakri. Read please. Tayam Chavataraste Anybody else? Tatha, thus, ayam, this, cha, and, avataraha, incarnation, te, your, bhuvaha, of the material world, bharah, burden, jihirshaya, for removing swana, of the friends, chananya bhavana, and of the exclusive devotees, anudhyanaya, for remembering repeatedly, cha, and asakrit, fully satisfied. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are wrapped in meditation upon you. Purport: it appears that the Lord is partial to His devotees. Everyone is related with the Lord. He is equal to everyone, and yet He is more inclined to His own man and devotees. The Lord is everyone's father. No one can be His father, and yet no one can be His son. His devotees are His kinsmen, and His devotees are His relations. This is His transcendental pastime. It has nothing to do with mundane ideas of relations, fatherhood, or anything like that. As mentioned above, the Lord is above the modes of material nature, and thus there is nothing mundane about His kinsmen and relations in devotional service. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamao Krishna Goswamiti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone to today's Bhagavatam class, reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So by regular recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the inauspiciousness in our lives will go away. So today being the first day of 2025, so the whole world is wishing one another Happy New Year. But what is the methodology for happiness? Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu. Happiness means when all the inauspiciousness has gone out of our life. So by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that means if all the inauspiciousness is going to go away by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, then recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam is what kind of devotional activity? What kind of devotional activity is recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam? From Nectar of Devotion, what does it say? What does Rupa Goswami say? Transcendental? Nectar of Devotion? Anybody read first part? Nectar of Devotion says, Rupa Goswami says, the first characteristics of pure devotional service is relief from material distress. All the inauspiciousness go away when we are doing pure devotional service. So what is pure devotional service? Just like a doctor by symptom. When a patient comes to you, you treat by symptom. You actually don't know what's happening, but just by external symptoms. So just external symptom of on the very peripheral, as soon as we start pure devotional service, the first symptom is the relief of material distresses. And I'm sure every one of us sitting here, we will all want to remember or meditate the first day of Krishna consciousness, the first year of Krishna consciousness. The first day, first week, first month, first year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe up to first initiation. If you remember these days, these were the days of pure devotional service. Huh? Weren't you feeling transcendental? You're flying like a yogi. It felt like you've already left, the soul had already left the body. We are on the transcendental. We could all understand what Prabhupada was saying, that by doing devotional service one comes to the transcendental platform. So, actual happiness comes in our life by once we get rid of inauspiciousness. So, why did we feel like that? Today is the beginning of our... so let's talk about beginning. Every year, Krishna gives us a beginning in life. So every year, this thing comes. Actually, time is eternal. We all know time is eternal. Why is time eternal? Why is time eternal? Because we are eternal. And because time is Krishna. Time is Krishna. So time is Krishna. So that is why now you can logically or reasonably reason out why devotees don't waste their time. Because wasting time means wasting Krishna. Just like you have a lot of money and you are wasting your money, then everyone will laugh at you. Look at this person, he has so much money, he's wasting his money. So if you are wasting our time, that means you are wasting Krishna. If you consider something a waste, if you think, someone, maybe, you are very close friends with someone, then after some time you start considering your friend a useless person. Then will there be any not usefulness, will there be any closeness? Will there be any love? No. So, it's very, very important that we must use our time in Krishna consciousness very well. The other day, we read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It's a very good point. Sometimes devotees might not fully sort of grasp this. And then, sometimes consider, because the problem of this world is we very easily become judgmental. We judge. Sometimes even we judge our own self. We judge our own self, we become demotivated in Krishna consciousness. We should not judge ourselves like that. Last Sunday I read this. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, chapter 8, what is the title of the chapter? I think one project everyone should do this year is all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, at least know the title. So what is Krishna speaking about? Attaining the Supreme, yes. Chapter 8 is Attaining the Supreme. We are all Krishna devotees, come on. You don't know your Lord, then how will you preach to others? So chapter 8 is Attaining the Supreme. Now in the subject matter of attaining the Supreme, what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying in the 7th verse, in the very beginning, because Krishna knows that if we are not correctly placed, then forget about attaining the Supreme. As soon as we are not in the rightful situation, the result is disturbed mind. Just like you don't get rightly paid, you are working a job, you don't get good pay, mind is disturbed. The doctor's mind will be just disturbed, and then you give the wrong injection, then somebody will die. So, we have to be rightly situated. So, Krishna is immediately saying in the 7th verse, Tasma Sharveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha Mayarpita Mano Buddhi Mame Veshyashi Asamsayaha. Therefore, Arjun, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. So, who should you always think of? Krishna. In what form should you think of? Krishna. That reminds me of a wonderful story from Krishna book. One time the gopis were having Rasa Leela. So Krishna just wanted to test the love of the gopis. Then amidst the Rasa Leela, then all of a sudden Krishna takes the form of Vishnu. He disappears. He takes the form of Vishnu, so Krishna is no longer there. And all the gopis, they become stunned. All the gopis start looking for Krishna. Where is Krishna gone? Where is Krishna gone? And they are looking for Krishna, and in the middle of the Rasa dance, there is Lord Vishnu standing. And then everyone sees Lord Vishnu. They see Lord Vishnu, they said, oh, please accept my humble obeisances. Have you seen Krishna? We are looking for Krishna, he's gone missing. So Krishna does this. Prabhupada says this is Krishna's play. This is Krishna's transcendental pastime. So sometimes Krishna does this to test our sincerity, to test our love. If you are really in love with Krishna, you are really sincere, then you will continue looking for him. If not, then you say, oh, it's too difficult. Sometimes this is what happens in our Krishna conscious life. Sometimes, our life becomes, sometimes we are thinking, oh, pure devotional service is removal of all distress, all material distress. Why am I getting so distressed? And then the next thing you do is, there's some problem with Krishna. No, you got to step back. Why is there so much distress? Step back. The condition for distress is, the condition for relief from distress is pure devotional service. Then you should question yourself. Am I doing pure devotional service? For us, common man, the understanding of pure devotional service is selfless devotional service. I don't come to the temple, to cook for the deities so that I can take some Mahaprasad. This is already selfish. Before cooking, you are selfish. Before cooking, you have already tasted the bhoga. Then how do you expect Krishna to accept? We have to talk about this. We have to repeatedly talk about these things, because the condition of today's world is manda sumanda mata bhagya. It's already predicted in the Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga people are forgetful. We all forget. I think you and I, we all sometimes put our chanting bead and forget where did we put it. After chanting 16 rounds, then you left the bead bag somewhere, and the next morning before Mangalarti you are looking for where did we put it. This is how forgetful we are. This is how forgetful we are. So we have to be constantly reminded. You look at Srimad Bhagavatam, you look at Srimad Bhagavad Gita. All the time the subject matter is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the time the subject matter is we are spirit soul, we are not this material body. The whole Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses is written about, the whole Vedas is written about this thing, basic principle. The whole Puranas are written about this. Then after even writing by Vyasadeva, Krishna has to come again and again and again. That is what exactly today's verse is saying. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world. Again, Satyuga, Krishna came, removed the burden, Dwapar Yuga started, Treta Yuga started, then everyone created a mess again. Then Krishna has to come again. Krishna fixed everything up, then Dwapar Yuga came, then came and created the mess again. Then Krishna came and fixed that. And today what we are saying, Ashwathama is creating a mess again. He's behaving out of his qualities, what he should be behaving. Because why do we lose our quality? As soon as you forget who you are. Sometimes I think, when you become a leader or you become a public figure, then you no longer live your life. If you become a minister or something like that, then everyone is going to look upon you, and therefore how you conduct yourself is very, very important. That is how the spiritual master conducts himself. All the acharyas, they conduct themselves, because there has to be some sensitivity to the fact that, when you are in that kind of situation, then sometimes we say to people, hey, this is how you are behaving, this is what you should not be behaving. I say, come on, Guru Seva, you are a doctor, you can't behave like that. So, similarly, we got to be constantly reminded that we are spirit souls, so we can't behave like materialists. Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj used to say that devotees have to live two lives. We all have to live. It does not mean we have to live a duplicitous life. Two life does not mean duplicitous life. Two life means we have to live for the soul. That is the first life we have to live. But then at the same time, we have to live a life of the body. Right? You may be somebody's wife, you may be somebody's son, you may be somebody's father, you may be some relative you are, some relationship you have. So you have to live that as well. That is exactly what Krishna is saying in 8.7. Therefore, Arjun, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. And then he's saying, at the same time, he's not saying, after you can do. He says, at the same time, you have to carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. Can you see? The religion for the soul, always remember Krishna. Religion for the body, carry out your prescribed duty. So beautifully Krishna is saying. Then he's saying, with your activities dedicated to me. As soon as Krishna is saying, you remember me, and then you carry out your prescribed duty, Krishna knows perfectly well that what we will say, oh, I'm carrying out my prescribed duty and therefore I cannot do this. So then Krishna again reiterates, he says, with your activities dedicated to me. So when you are doing your prescribed duty, the results of your activity is to be dedicated to Krishna. That is karma yoga. That is karma yoga. And your mind and intelligence fixed in me. Mind, this is movable. This is not fixed. Krishna is asking, fixed. Can I move this wall? Can I move this pole? That's fixed. So Krishna wants our mind and intelligence fixed. How do you fix your mind? The mind will say, oh, this person is not looking at me, therefore I am very disturbed. Fix your mind in Krishna. Radha Golok Bihari is here. Today I was standing in the Mangal Aarti and I was feeling very happy. So many devotees came for Mangal Aarti. Right? And then the thought that came across my mind was that sometimes we think, I have this problem, I have that problem, I don't get along with this person, I don't go along with this person. If that's the problem, then fix your mind, I get along with Krishna. And therefore who's here? Krishna is here. And then when you start getting along with Krishna, how do you know that you are making spiritual advancement? How do you know that you are getting along with Krishna? The answer is in today's verse. You remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends. Find out who's Krishna's friends. Who are Krishna's friends? The devotees. The devotees. We all know Krishna has cowherd boyfriends. Subal, Sridham, Madhumangal. How many of you have access to them? How many of you are meeting Subal all the time? When you're taking prasadam, you are thinking, oh, there's a seat for Madhumangal. He's stealing laddus. We don't have that experience. So then, how do you experience Krishna's friends? It's you and I, all the devotees. We are all Krishna's friends. That's why sometimes we write an announcement. You say, "Dear devotees, friends, and well wishes." They're all Krishna's friends. Krishna works for everyone. Krishna is accepting everyone. That is the idea. So when you are friends with Krishna, you are friends with devotees. That reminds me, the other day I was hearing one lecture of my Gurudev, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev said that how strong you are in Krishna consciousness, how close you are with Krishna, is by how many devotees you are with. He said, it is not that how many devotees are with you, but how many devotees you are with. You get the difference? When you are saying how many devotees are with you, there is self-centeredness. I am the boss, how many people are with me? When you are saying how many devotees are you with, means you are a humble servant seeking friendship of the devotees. Seeking friendship means you are looking for friendship, means you are looking for friendship with Krishna. Pure devotional service is selfless. Think less of yourself. Do not think less of yourself. अपने बारे में कम सोचो, अपने आप को कम मत सोचो. अपने बारे में कम सोचो. That I am the center of everything? No. No. Sometimes you also remember, you read Prabhupada Lilamrita, sometimes there's a story that when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur passing away, so Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told the Gaudiya Math that you form a GBC, a governing body commission, all of you together. So they did not. So then Prabhupada, followed the instructions of his spiritual master. He went ahead, he made a whole big organization of ISKCON. Then just looking at the success of ISKCON, then Gaudiya Math came and said to Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said form a GBC, so let us form a GBC and work cooperatively. That time Prabhupada said, okay, let's form a GBC. Of the 11 men on the GBC, 10 will be mine, 1 will be yours. But mind you, this is absolutely in humility. So we don't try to copy Prabhupada. Prabhupada did not feel the ego that I have done it. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. So selflessness is very, very important. And selflessness only does not apply in devotional life. The selflessness is a virtue, it's a good quality that even ordinary human being should have. Manu Sumita says, before you become a Vaishnava, you should at least be a human being. Sometimes we forget this. And this is very, very important. Just like, one time I remember here, Bir Krishna Maharaj is giving a class. Bir Krishna Maharaj said, in today's world, many people, if you read the part of the Ramayana where Lord Ramachandra heard the words of a dhobi and said, exile Sita. Today's, United Nations of Women Progress and women's liberation, and they say Ramayana is very, very against women. So Maharaj was saying, you can't. It is Krishna's pastime, but the whole world is not understanding. So, by this point, I am trying to express, or if we can all understand, that common virtues are also an important quality in Krishna consciousness. Although we read from Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, say, as soon as one becomes a Vaishnava, as soon as one becomes a devotee, all the qualities of the demigods become present in that person. I think the only quality that becomes more prominent of which demigod? Of Indra. As soon as Hiranyakashipu is doing tapasya, Prabhupada writes in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, Indra is scared. Oh, he'll take over the heaven. Or which demigod? Or we said, oh, we've become a devotee. So all the qualities of the demigods are within me. What is Indra doing? Indra is trying to look at Menaka, Urvashi. This is not the qualities Krishna is talking about of the demigods. What are the qualities of demigods we are talking about? Look at the quality Devarishi Narada. What is Narada doing? Narayan, Narayan. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, he is very disturbed in mind. What is he disturbed about? What will happen to the people of Kali Yuga? How will they attain salvation? You get the qualities of Lord Shiva. What is Lord Shiva doing? He is not interested in the material acquisitions. When Lord Shiva got married with Mother Parvati, so it is a condition, anyone gets married, he should have a home. Nowadays, children want to get married, and father to have a home. Father must provide. And then the father must feed them, and the father must feed the wife as well. And better still if the father can also feed the grandchildren as well. This is not Vedic tradition. Vedic tradition is you educate yourself and an income. If you have a home, first thing you must have a home. Then you get married, then you can bring someone and give shelter. So, Lord Shiva did this in a whole golden palace for Mother Parvati. So, he did the house warming ceremony. So the Brahmanas came, they did the home. So after that you have to give charity. So he asked the Brahmanas, how can I save you? The Brahmana said, I want the palace. Lord Shiva said, okay, have it. So this is the quality of the demigods that we can learn. That reminds me, sometimes I think this is a very, very practical thing that we should talk about. Nowadays, I've seen lot of opposition from common people. Saying that we promote Krishna and we deride the demigods. I think this is absolutely wrong understanding. And if our devotees are behaving in that way as well, I think this is absolutely a wrong behavior. You must understand, Prabhupada says that the demigods are much, much higher beings than us. Just like, today we have Bhagavati Mataji, she's elder than us, Jaram Prabhu, Parshuram Prabhu, Mahaprasad Prabhu, they are elder than us, Matajis are elder than us. So automatically, they deserve the respect from us because they are seniors to us. So similarly, all the demigods are naturally senior to us. Therefore, they deserve the respect. We don't deride them. As devotees also, Prabhupada said, we should just offer obeisances to them. Lord Shiva is a great devotee. If Indra was not a devotee, why would Krishna protect him every time? Krishna protects him every time. When Hiranyakashipu became powerful, who was Krishna protecting? How many of you have read Brihad Bhagavatamrita? If you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when there was a search for who is the best devotee, so they went to Bali Maharaj. They went to Indra. Indra said, Indra, you are a great devotee. He said, how am I a great devotee? Because you are a great devotee, that is why Krishna took the form of Vamandev and went to Bali Maharaj and begged the kingdom back. If you really love someone, wouldn't you want to go and do things for that person? If that person gets into trouble, what will you do? You will just go and say, no, please. Sometimes what we do, we said, Prabhuji, please, I'm asking forgiveness on his behalf. He's nadan, he didn't know what he's done, he's made a mistake. So that means, Krishna, when you love that person, then you want to go and ask forgiveness on their behalf. This is exactly what Lord Vamanadev did. So that's why Narad said, you're a great devotee. So he said, no, I'm not a great devotee. It's a material thing for which actually Krishna was not coming to favor me, he was coming to favor Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj gave Atma Samarpan. But there is a point. Why does Krishna protect all the... When Lord Shiva gave his blessings to Bhasmasur, why did Krishna have to become a woman? Krishna has to become a Moini to protect him. When the nectar was churned out, the demigods, why did Krishna want them to have it? Today's shlok is saying, benefit your friends. The demigods are friends of Krishna. So we don't deride them, but we also understand it's a second offense to consider names of demigods like Lord Shiva Brahma to be equal to or independent. The demigods are not independent of Krishna. They are always going to the shelter of. I know many people may be hearing me through the social media and they will make so many comments on Padma's Facebook page. But I want to make this position very clear for the benefit of the whole world actually. That Prabhupada has not taught us that the demigods are need to be derided. No. They are higher beings, but we give them respect. But then Krishna has very clearly said what? Always remember me. Tasmat sarvesu kaleshu. Mam anusmara. Krishna is the giver of liberation. So even the demigods go to Krishna. Here it is said, you descend as an incarnation. So every time the earth is burdened with problem, they go to demigods. The demigods, Mother Earth in a form of cow goes to the demigods go to Brahmaji takes everyone to the banks of Shir Sagar to Lord Vishnu and they seek protection. So Krishna, Vishnu or Ram, Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very simple. So especially, and then to benefit, Krishna is acting to benefit his friends. So the point I was discussing was keeping your mind and intelligence fixed. You must know, this world is called Bhavasagara. What is the reason it's called Bhavasagara? What is the quality of Sagar? What is the quality of ocean? What is one quality of the ocean? It's very deep, okay? So Bhavasagar is very deep, so don't take it for granted that you can just go out of this material world like that. What else? What is another quality of nature of the ocean? Huh? No answer is wrong. Give it a try. Huh? Very turbulent. Huh? There is never-ending waves in the ocean. Huh? And that can be turbulent, sometimes tsunami. Sometimes it's ordinary. Sometimes the sea is so nice, you can have a nice picnic. Material world is like that. We must understand, in intelligence and in the mind we must understand, this world is Bhavasagara. Problems are going to be never ending. Sometimes it will be a problem, tsunami. Sometimes it will be small. Sometimes you will have a very fine day. Don't be mistaken in the material world. You are having a very fine day, and then you think, oh, this is spiritual world. Material world is not a spiritual world. Understand that. Understand that, please. So with these thoughts, I think for New Year, my inspiration is that I want to share with you all that please keep this basic foundational ABCD, the basics 1 to 10 that we learn, that has to be always there. Even when you do PhD, you still require alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F. Even if you do PhD, you still require the numerals 0 to 1, because this is the only thing. Other than this, there is nothing. Am I right or no? All education process, alphabets, the 26 letters and the 10 numerals. That's what you all need to know. That's it. Then you can do anything. You can become a big professional, you can do everything. But the basics. So what is the basics? Very simple. Our basic is Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are a spirit soul. Material nature is where we are in. Within the material nature we do activities, which is karma. And everything in the material world is controlled by time. This is the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. So repeatedly, again and again and again and again. Sometimes, people come to the Sunday feast, they say, Prabhuji, every time we come to the feast, it's the same class being given, same class being given. I say, Prabhuji, I have to continue giving the same class, until I see you rise to the next level, then I can also start speaking the next level. So, again, another thing that I want to just bring home the point, that, please, don't be oblivious to the material existence. Devotee का मतलब नहीं है कि हम लोग संसार के भुलाए जाओ. You must be aware of what's happening. Every time I am hearing the cases of, adultery, cases of, abuse, cases of, corruption, cases of all these things happening, all the bad things that are happening, the disease, the rise of HIV, all these things that's happening in this world, we must all be very aware. Why we need to be aware? Because then only you know that material world is not a place for a gentleman. This is what Bhaktisnatha Thakur said. Material world is not a place for the gentleman. I am not too old at the moment. Being on the borderline and having elderly parents and elderly god brothers and god sisters, and Bhagavati Mataji is here as well. You ask these elderly devotees. And I'm sure you will not realize it at this point. You are very young. For you, your senses are very strong. And you think, there is still taste in the material world. And I'm not saying that you should restrain yourself. Krishna is saying that, you just artificially pull yourself from this thing, your mind will keep going there. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, better to be genuine than to be a pretender. So just go by your pace, but always keep in the association of devotees so that your pace, your momentum, when an athlete goes into the athletics competition, of course he puts his training, he puts his effort, but what is one other very energizing factor for an athlete? Support. What is the support? The cheering squad. Huh? All of you have been to high school, na? Inter-school competitions and all these things. So inter-house competition. So I myself in my school days, I am a very poor athlete. I can't do track events. I can't do all these things. So I was the head of the cheering squad. Cheering is very, very important. Cheering is very, very important. Cheering creates a surge of energy in you. For one moment you are feeling hopeless that I'm going to lose this race. When you are running, I'm losing, there's someone. But your team goes, go, 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 go. And that's when you get a surge of energy. This is called devotee association. You need the cheering squad of devotees. You need to be there. So, otherwise this world is putting us on the backtrack. Huh? All the people who you're so grateful that you go on book distribution. It's a very difficult event, right? You go, people don't want to buy, people are not interested, right? You try hook or crook, you do something, you just give them a book, sometimes they say they don't want to buy. I already have it, we know you are a liar. we know it. And then somebody will say, devotees are very smart. Then somebody will say, oh, actually I'm looking for a Bhagavad Gita in Hindi. Oh yeah, we have a Hindi one too. Then the person is caught off guard. So the idea is that, the point that I'm trying to drive is, please don't become oblivious to this world. Keep in mind. And I must say, we have to be very human. Learn to respect elders. Learn to take care of your parents. Take care of your friendships, your relationships. Today's verse is saying, benefit your friends, especially those who are exclusive devotees and wrapped in meditation with you. Krishna is very, very pleased by those who are exclusive devotees. So the point I was making, we don't worship the demigods because we want to be exclusive devotees of Krishna. When you are exclusive devotees of Krishna, then Krishna is just doing things for you. So be exclusive devotees. And who are exclusive devotees? Are wrapped in meditation upon you. Satark. Wrapped ko Hindi mein satark kehte hain. We should be very, very wrapped. Attentive hona chahiye. हम लोग के nature है, कोई जन के nature है, they're very attentive. One thing speck and span, you can see the mat is, it's like, अभी spiritual good qualities के medical condition बना दिया है. बोले इसके medical condition मैं एकदम mat सीधा रहो, ऐसे है? क्या बोलते हैं उसका? OCD. देखो ये कलयुग के प्रभाव है. आपके अच्छे गुण के सत्व गुण को एक मेडिकल बदनाम देकर लोग उसको मिटाना चाहते हैं. This is what you expect. This is how Kalyug will deteriorate. And the other thing, I think, that should give peace to our mind is that, please, everyone understand that we will not be able to improve things because Kalyuga is deteriorating. Therefore, what Krishna will appreciate, what you can do. Forget about the result. Krishna says, leave the result unto me. You do your book distribution, you do your Harinam Sankirtan, you come to the temple, do your service, you do all these things. And you forget about the result. Because Kalyuga is deteriorating. It will never. You don't expect, we'll have 1,000 devotees for Mangalarti. Ravitesh Prabhu met me in the morning. When he came in the morning, only Jaram Prabhu was here, Pashuram Prabhu was here. That was before 4:30, of course, everyone else came. So Prabhuji came, I thought, actually Prabhu, you look very, very much like Bengali. I thought you are from Mayapur, some devotee from India has come. So then I asked him, Prabhuji, where are you from? He said, I'm from Lambasa. Okay. Then Prabhuji said, I thought, today is New Year, this place will be filled. I was kind of embarrassed when he said that. But then immediately my intelligence told my mind that don't be embarrassed. This is Kalyuga. People will come late or whatever it be. But whatever Krishna's will, that will happen. But good thing is that we do our share of Krishna consciousness. I think we're running the temple here so that, devotees can come and take benefit. So we don't get disappointed too much that, people are not coming. We must all, yeah, it's time for darshan. So we must all focus that how do we create opportunities the temple is an opportunity. The Harinam is an opportunity. The book distribution, Prabhupada has created opportunities for people to connect. So we just be lastly I would say, we just be this cheering squad, just cheer people into the temple, cheer people in devotional service, cheer people, everyone do that. And lastly, the last hit is anything that will spoil our Krishna consciousness, anything that will spoil our devotional service is when we become unfriendly to friends of Krishna. When you become you unfriend just like on the Facebook, some useless people you unfriend. So once you do that, then you are unfriending Krishna. So Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की ईश्वर में बड़ी बढ़ जाए श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ईश्वर वृंद की जय श्री गुरु प्रभुपाद की जय गंधमय जगन्नाथ की जय भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की जय रामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम तो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री गौर निताय भगवान की जय श्री सीताराम कृष्ण भगवान की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गौर गोपियाश्याम श्री राधा गौर बिहारी देवी की जय श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जी की जय युग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय श्री कृष्ण नाम संकीर्तन की जय पतित पावन श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय आनंद पुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर वंदे all glories to Sundar Devotee, all glories to Sundar Devotee, all glories to Sundar Devotee, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. So we now have Kirtan. We welcome everyone for DDS Kirtan. So please take this moment. ये समय जो है ये आपका समय है, ये आपके आत्मा समर्पण